Hello, and welcome to the Miskatonic Playhouse. I'm T.A. Newman, your host. My team and I will be bringing to life adventures using the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which contains mature themes, cosmic horror, character death, and loss of sanity. Our mystery can be found in the Miskatonic repository, where people like you and me can write adventures for others to play. We'd like to thank Syrinscape, whose tools have helped provide the background sounds that you hear. And if you'd like to become a friend of the Playhouse, then please support us on Ko-fi. That's kofi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, where you can gain access to exclusive shows and content for as little as £1. The atmosphere is thick with dread and decay, as the once vibrant flora of Buxton is now wilting under an unseen curse. The Buxton Ladies Horticultural Society intend to conduct a ritual at midnight with missing brother, Mr. Henry Millwood, as the intended sacrifice. Now it's time to pull back the curtain and roll the dice. Keeper, the stage is yours.
Dearest viewers, good evening and welcome once again to the Miskatonic Playhouse. I am, as always, your most humble servant of ValyGirl Heather and keeper for tonight's final installment of The Well of All Fear by Cat Clay. Tonight, we leap into the second of our two-part finale as our investigators come face to face with the cult of Artemisia and their attempt to put right all wrongs and possibly still escape with their lives and their mind intact. One final time, I extend to you all the invitation to join us as we bring this tale of life and death to its climactic conclusion. And with that, investigators, let us begin. We're going to start as you all see the glittering cove before you. Even though you know you are probably somewhere fairly deep underground, what you see before you is amazing. A giant tree stretches up, its branches unfurled against this cavern. You see the glittering blue waters that run around the space. You notice the gold coins glittering from within the water itself. Riches that would rival almost any dragon's hoard that you've read in the stories. The stone altar before the tree with the jingling of chains that are holding a one Mr. Henry Millwood stretched out on his back, on it, as he attempts to very weakly move. He doesn't seem to be in full cognizance, awareness of his surroundings, as he doesn't seem to be pulling too hard, but he is moving about, so you know that he still lives. But it is the horrors that you see before you, the decorations on the tree, the knots on the wood that are not knots, the decorations that are not baubles, for they are all heads, human heads. And I would like the rest of you, not Miss Reverend, who has already rolled sanity, but now it is time for the rest of you to roll your sanity.
Scared.
What is good is that Ruth Chesterton has 17 against 55.
Sanity,
Right. Sanity.
There we go.
Let's go. Oh God, I'm scared.
36 v 55.
I failed massively.
Oh, that is
What did you get?
95 v 60 for Penelope.
That's not
Penelope
good.
Over
not
60.
doing good.
Okay.
That's really not good.
Okay.
I got
So,
v 55. I passed.
I'm scared.
okay. For those who passed, I need you to roll a D3 For those that did not pass, I need you to roll a d6.
How do I roll a D3?
If you want to roll a d6 and divide by 2, I will accept that.
Okay, because there's not an option for a 3 on here.
I got a
Yeah.
4.
Ooh, that was close.
I got 4, so that'll be 2.
You all see this in horror, that everything that the dear Reverend imparted to you just this morning is now verified. It is true. It seems that this cult of Artemisia has chosen to use the men's heads as a way to keep to stave off the rot and keep the life force going within the Buxton area. You also see, as you look, your eyes gaze down upon the altar where poor Mr. Millwood continues to, be stuck. There is also, again, a large statue of Artemisia. Her hands stretched forth, flowers woven, a woven crown of flowers on top of the head, through the hair. Looks like an actual toga dress has been actually draped on the statue. It's almost as lifelike as it can possibly be. And her hands also outstretched towards the altar. As I have put the map in, you can kind of get the idea of where everything is laid out. Mr. Millwood looks a bit battered and bruised. The metal rings at the corner of each altar clink against the chains with the manacles that he wears. He is wearing not his normal clothes, but a short white toga clinging to the firm outline of his frame. And along his head is crowned. He has a wreath of laurel leaves. And his mouth is gagged. It's almost as if he is starting to wake up as you see him struggle a little bit more as you take all of this in.
Mr. Fergusson, being the first to arrive on the scene, probably recovers from the shock a little quicker. And I think immediately, do unto others as you would have do unto them. If someone were to find Mr. Fergusson tied up onto an altar, he would hope that one of his comrades would untie him. So immediately rushes straight over and starts pulling at the chains, shouting back to Captain Trumpeter, "Damn it, man, come and give me a hand."
Well, hold on a moment.
And Mr. Fergusson looks suspiciously at Captain Trumpeter.
Well, yes, we have to help Mr. Millwood, of course. We have commitments to his sister.
Quite.
However, it does seem to me that there is an awful lot of life here, and there is not an awful lot of life upstairs. So are we really willing to risk it? I merely want to find everybody standing on it. I don't think we should harm our Mr. Millwood at all, but if a head needs to be given, I'm sure we can find someone.
You cannot be serious.
Perhaps
Not possibly.
One, what was his name? Do you remember? Lord Holverton?
Sir Devlin?
Sir Devlin.
Yeah.
As much as it would please me no end to see him come to him to receive his just rewards, I do not and I cannot condone the beheading of any man for some pagan ritual that is merely traditional hearsay from days of yore. You
Sir
are
Devlin.
Fergusson.
You cannot.
Are you talking about hearsay and traditions in a negative light, given what you are and what you stand for?
Well, I think rather the more pressing issue is that you cannot quite claim it as hearsay anymore, surely. Look around you. This place is as alive as up there was dead.
Even if that is true, then the price is too high.
What are you
You would
suggesting?
rather all of the life upstairs die. You rather no crops will grow, no plants will grow, stopping any life living anywhere around, not being able to feed any of the animals or humans who live there. I'm
no-
not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm simply putting forth that maybe we should consider the fact that this might actually work.
And
A noble
perhaps
aim,
it is
sir.
this goddess, if that is what you can call her. Perhaps she is the one who has cursed this place, and removing this infliction on the land will return it back to its natural state, the natural cycle of the seasons.
Maybe, sir, if you are so concerned about appeasing this goddess, maybe your own head would suffice. Shall we put it to the test?
Please let
there
us
are
not
some
get
blades
carried
up there.
away, Mr. Fergusson, please.
Mr. Fergusson, I don't think it quite is that dire just yet.
I don't think that would work, sir.
And
Perhaps
why
we
not?
should try yours.
Well, to be fair, if it comes to that, and it saves the life of Mr. Millwood, I'm sure that my great patroness, Lady Bagtonbury, would understand that my inability to perform the service next Sunday for the sake of saving the life of an innocent man.
I think we shall have no self-sacrifice today. I think that is a touch too far. But as much as I hate to admit it, I do struggle to see how we can find a way around it. But I do agree that we ought to get Mr. Millwood out of here as soon as possible. And perhaps the ladies will be able to find a more suitable man as a replacement if he goes missing.
Perhaps with some aid.
So shall we attempt to get Henry out?
Yes. And I can't believe you're
All right, I'll go help
suggesting
try
that
and get him out.
murder is an acceptable idea here.
Well, murder, that is one way to look at it. Personally, we see it more as a sacrifice necessary for truly who would really miss a rake and a cad like Mr. Millwood.
Well,
The
madam,
voice-
actually, there are several people who would miss this one. Perhaps I could suggest Sir Devlin as a replacement.
And
I'd
as
be an
you
excellent
turn
help
to
for you.
as you turn to the voice, you you see the face that you knew before you even turned around, who the face that you would see connected to that voice. It is indeed Mrs. Huntley, followed by several women that you recognize who were at Huntley Hall just the day before, decorating the place. She looks at you with a combination of, you almost think there might be a touch of admiration, definitely not respect, but of admiration, and a confidence in her stance that she fully believes that she is 100% in the right. Her arms are folded against her chest, and she has a bit of a smirk on her lips. So you found your way. You're here to take Mr. Millwood. I will give you credit for your tenacity. You are far more determined than I realized. And since you decided to skip my grand event, it is a good thing that you were seen coming this direction, or else we would have not known. And that would have been very detrimental to Buxton.
Well, not entirely. Not if my plan worked.
Pay no attention to him, madam. I do not fear he is quite in his right mind after seeing such this sight. We are not condoning the sacrifice or murder of any man here.
I do not stand by Mr. Fergusson's. I think that some men are repulsive and actually deserve the recompense that they might get. I have experienced several men who I think would probably be a lot better off this way. Now, I don't think Mr. Millwood is one of them.
Well, even if he were, there are certainly far more reprehensible and would not you do without him just this once. And as the captain said, there are plenty of more reprehensible men in the area. I'm not saying that you are wrong or right, merely that Mr. Millwood here certainly does not deserve his place.
Are you so sure about that? Did you not realize that this man would attempted to sell his own sister's virtue to pay a gambling debt?
Attempted
Well,
and then
aware of
changed
it.
his mind and fought to get that back. There are several men who wouldn't have done that. I think that means that he deserves a second chance.
Well, if you care so deeply about Louisa Millwood, then you ought perhaps to consider that she will be in no better position for the death of her brother, rather quite a worse one. And in this instance, if you are coming from an empathetic and virtuous place, swapping him out for a worse man is actually more beneficial for everybody. Not that I am condoning murder, I merely cannot see another option. Just so everybody is fine.
I am aghast as well. To be fair, the only man I can see here who potentially deserves this fate is the one person who is extolling its virtues. Here is your Captain Trumpeter. Madam, I'm sure that his head will suffice perfectly for your needs.
Mr.
I'm sure it
Fergusson,
won't.
control yourself. You are a Christian man.
I fear that in this pagan space, even my faith, my solid faith, the rock of foundation, is shaken, Miss Chesterton.
Nobody
Well-
is saying that Mr. Millwood is a good man. Nobody is even saying that Mr. Trumpeter is a good man. But they are men, they are humans, they are children of God, and you cannot buy or sell a life or a death.
Well, since it seems that there is a bit of a disagreement amongst you, and she then closes the space and steps up to you, Captain. Would you be willing to take his place to save precious Mr. Millwood?
Mrs.
You, as
Huntley.
a captain, I'm sure have seen and done a few dastardly things in your time, rather sordid. As a captain of the sea, there are tales that, well, good proper women should not read, but I am aware of what happens in various ports at sea.
Well, good
Perhaps
people
you
wouldn't
would like to take
really
his
commit
place.
murder either, but
Mrs.
that's neither here nor
Huntley,
there.
I suggest you take a good long look at the face you're looking at, and I think you'll realise that I'm not going to be very helpful for you.
Oh, why would that be? You are a man, after all, and a man's
I?
head is what's needed.
Sorry, what?
I beg your
You look
pardon.
like the face that a man would have, Mrs. Huntley.
She stops and takes a slow step back. And her face twists into one of confusion. And then you see her take 2 steps back and her face go into just shock.
Now, you're
What?
absolutely right. There are lots of stories that you hear about captains at sea and awful men. I don't think you should put that onto me, though, should you? I shan't be any help to you.
The women behind her, one of them comes over and kind of whispers something in her ear. You guess she's probably asking, like, what exactly is happening? And you see Mrs. Huntley just kind of half turn her face without breaking eye contact with you. He is not a man. Are you, Captain?
Did I not just say that?
No, you are not. Well, well. I must admit, I am cut to the quick and almost impressed. Ladies, it seems we have another among us. Do we not, Captain? And then she stops and she looks at each of the group. You don't know, do you? You don't see it. Oh, my dear Captain. Talk about sordid secrets.
Well, the woman's got
Perhaps-
to do what she's got to do to get by.
Well, that does change the situation. So it seems that the only true man amongst you, as her head kind of leans over and she looks over your shoulder and to look at you, Mr. Fergusson. It seems there's only one man among you.
Mr. Fergusson is speechless. Mr. Fergusson has actually quite enjoyed his time and the banter with Captain Trumpeter, seeing her, as a man of a very different sphere. But to have that very different sphere be completely shattered into an altogether different world, he almost doesn't believe the evidence of his own eyes anymore. And he's just staring past Mrs. Huntley at Captain Trumpeter and trying to work out how he has not seen this. That Captain Trumpeter is a woman dressed in a sailor's clothes with hair tied up and a sailor's hat on, but a woman nonetheless. And for the first time in his life, Mr. Fergusson has nothing to say.
Wow. I think I won the game.
Sun rolls, everybody. Mr. Fergusson can't talk. Ruth is
And I
absolutely
will turn
gobsmacked
back.
too.
Oh, sorry.
Ruth is absolutely gobsmacked too. She had no idea, no conception at all. And I think you see on her face a mixture of suspicion, then betrayal, then admiration almost.
For the
Penelope
three,
looks thrilled.
I'll give her a little wink.
for the three of you, not the dear captain, of course, this reveal is mind-blowing. To have a woman living as a man is against so many societal rules, etiquette, manners, you name it. This goes beyond all of it. To a point that I'm actually going to ask for a sanity roll from the three of you.
You better succeed on this.
A 45 over 39, which is a failure for Mr. Fergusson.
Yeah.
Failure for
fine.
Ruth Chesterton, 89 against 53.
Okay. I am going to ask for just a simple D4 from anyone who failed. And 1 point, just 1 point of sanity if you succeeded.
Oh yeah, don't roll
Yeah,
again.
I know.
You keep doing that.
I know. I don't. It's my thumbs.
My thumbs.
My undexterous thumbs.
I made Mr. Ferguson silent.
I have lost one.
And I have lost 2.
Mm.
Okay.
So good.
As the rest of the party comes to grips with this altering plot twist, the other ladies from that came in with Mrs. Huntley are slowly moving and have made their way over to near the altar and the statue of Artemisia. So at this point, you are able to tell that there are 10 of them.
Including Mrs. Huntley?
Not including Mrs. Huntley. There are 10 women and Mrs. Huntley. And you are now noticing that all of them are wearing white robes that look very familiar to those who were working with those just the day before. Mrs. Huntley has her hands on her hips and is now looking at you, Captain, with you definitely sense a feeling of there is some definite respect and in her, as well as a bit. You're not sure. You don't think she's offended, though she should be. But there is definitely a modicum of respect there for a woman who would choose to take that on to be able to live a man's life in a man's world. The moment is broken by the harsh jangling of the chains as Mr. Millwood, who seems to be fully awake now, starts to struggle mightily against his chains, kind of breaking the reverie of the moment.
Mrs. Huntley, might I be frank? All of our thoughts from earlier do actually stand quite well. I'm afraid I can't give you Mr. Fergusson. He's much too valuable to all of us and much too lovely of a person, if I'm honest. And Mr. Millwood, while questionable, should be given a second chance. He did try to take back on his bet, and frankly, there are some much worse men.
But as I said, his death would only expedite the result of the bet.
Exactly.
Alive, he can change it.
And, I mean, you have time. I'm not suggesting that we have to not do your ritual. I don't want to get in the way of people's beliefs. I suppose everybody can do what they want. All I'm saying is, maybe we can find a man who's more questionable than he is. I'm sure there are several of them. And I'm sure at least half the party would be willing to help you.
But the time grows short. I mean, we've already had to step up our plans because of your meddling. And if we do not offer a man's head to the blessed Artemisia, Buxton's gardens will wither, the waters will run dry, our town's only source of income will perish with it. Is not the sacrifice of a single man just enough to ensure that a town can thrive? But not just
Yes,
the town,
that's what
but
we're
the
saying. But when you say time runs short, how short does time run? As in, does it have to happen in 2 minutes, or do we have an hour or two?
There is very little time, and it takes to be able to arrange for such such a sacrifice. He's been chosen. He has been sanctified. We have gone through the purification processes with the waters for him. He is ready for this. It would take more time than we have, as this ritual must be done by today. You've seen the outside. If Artemisia demands the sacrifice of a head, of at least a man's head, or we are all doomed. There is just, it must be. I don't know how
Does
we
it
could
have
do
to
this
be a
without
man?
erasing suspicion. Well, according to the legend and the ritual, when Artemisia first appeared, and to the young woman, she reached out her hand and asked for a sacrifice. She showed her with the coins in her hands and she indicated a man's head was needed. The woman.
Think about it, Mrs. Huntley. The Romans would not have set up here if the land was innately cursed. Surely it is this Artemisia herself who is manipulating the land and causing this decay, causing this famine, this dryness, this deadness.
Mr. Fergusson steps forward, coming out of his stupor. Mrs. Huntley, I understand your situation here. It is true, I have a dear regard for Miss Louisa Millwood, and I would hate to see her in dire straits purely because her brother came to an end here. I feel it is only right that I offer myself as a tribute here.
Absolutely not.
I have seen
No.
the way here.
No,
Captain,
Mr. Fergusson.
Miss Chesterton,
Jonathan, no.
Miss Azad, trust me on this.
No.
And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out his coin purse. He pulls out a nice gold sovereign. I have decided we shall leave this to chance. I shall flip this coin. If it lands on heads, you may have mine. If it lands on tails, Mr. Millwood. And he flips the coin.
I don't like that you're actually leaving this to
No.
chance.
Take the Harvey Dent route. This is good.
And he looks at the coin on his hand, and he sees the golden sovereign with the head of King George. And a thought occurs to him. In that split second, the goddess standing there with the coins in her palms, the coins in the pond, the coins in the pile. And he takes the golden sovereign. Mrs. Huntley, may I try something? If this does not work, you can have my head. And he holds the golden sovereign and he throws it into the pond. Keeper, does anything happen? Please tell me.
The coin lands with a solid plop into the blue waters. And for a moment, the ripples of the water and gather out and fade away. And for a moment, all seems still. And then you hear a crack of stone and another. And all of you and all the women stop and stare at the statue of Artemisia. And you swear you see the eyes blink. The hands lower down. And she steps forward off of the pedestal. The scrape and crack of stone as she moves forward and to you. And you swear you see her smile as she looks up and around at everyone. And she bows her head to you, Reverend Fergusson, and up. You have my blessing. And she holds out her hands. Flowers spring from them, flowing outwards along, well, they are, at this point, they are falling over the semi-naked form of Mr. Millwood, who is now very still as these flowers fall upon him and fall around and upon you, Reverend. A wave of refreshment, it's the only word that comes to mind, fills each of your bodies. as each of you regain 1d6 sanity.
A D6.
Oh, I got
5.
I've ended up with more sanity than I
Only up
started
to
with.
full. Yeah, well, you go up to full.
I only have 1.
Me too.
Oh.
She, as the flowers stop from her hands, and you feeling lighter, the air feels lighter. The water seems to almost glow in its purity as she turns and steps back up onto her pillar. She resumes the form that she once took, and the grinding comes to a halt. The cultists take a moment. Then you see them start to look at each other in horror as they realize what they have done for years. Their mothers, their sisters, their grandmothers, all the way back through their ancestors. The understanding of the misunderstanding for all of these years. The terror welling in their eyes and form, and they begin to run out. Mrs. Huntley is frozen. Her face, a mask of fear and terror. Oh, what have we done? What have we done?
I'm going to approach Mr. Fergusson and hold out my hand. I'm ever so sorry for the way that I acted. And I'm sorry for having lied to you. You
Trumpet-
are potentially one of the few solely good men that I have ever encountered.
Trumpeter, may I say, you were the best man I ever met.
Thank you.
And he holds out his hand to shake.
You.
Mrs. Huntley falls to her knees and buries her head in her hands and begins to sob. You
Please don't ever
feel
frighten me like
the-
that again, Mr. Fergusson.
Please do.
You feel almost a crackle of energy through the air. That it's like the feeling after a rainstorm has come through and washed away, leaving just the feeling of clean behind. You realize whatever else is done here, the ritual has been satisfied. Mrs. Huntley, still tears still falling from her face, gets up and from the inside of her robe pulls out a set of keys and unlocks the manacles that are holding Mr. Millwood to the altar. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Please go. Please go.
I'll go and help Mr. Millwood up.
Yeah, I'll join and make sure he's okay.
look to the others, give a nod, and start heading towards the exit with Mr. Millwood.
Ruth takes
He's
Mr.
a bit
Fergusson.
beat up and bruised, but and stumbles a little bit. He probably hasn't been on his feet in a day or so. So he will need some assistance, but he is able to move.
Ruth takes Mr. Fergusson by the arm and very firmly guides him the same way that the captain and Mrs. Add are going. You're getting out of here now.
He does not resist. He just moves.
Leave this woman to her regret.
And you head out. You know that the easiest way is probably to climb the stairs that you came down on. But you also notice that there is, it looks like another room beyond the room that you came in at. You're not sure where that leads you.
Now is not the time.
Can we see into the room?
Yes, you can see it into the room. It's very damp. It feels the air coming through as you examine it is very cold. Best guess this is probably some type of room that may have kept, it was designed to keep that cold air in, maybe kept food or other snacks or something in, food products. And you also know that this would potentially be where the bathhouse entrance is, as there is a door.
Perhaps it might be. I'll turn around so everyone can hear. Perhaps it might be better to take him through that way and not out into the open as he is.
Yes. A man in a tunic would certainly raise eyebrows on the street, but perhaps in the bathhouse at least we might procure some clothes for him?
Yes.
Borrow
I think that's a good
something?
idea. I'm sure I've got some upstairs that should fit.
Yes. But just to get him at least from the bathhouse back to our lodgings, I'm thinking perhaps we could borrow? That's not stealing, is it? Just temporarily?
As long as we return them afterwards.
Yes. Needs must.
I fear the greater good.
I agree.
The room has some chains. You're pretty sure it has some stains in it. This may be where, as you enter the room, Mr. Millwood seems to cower a little bit in your hands. He muffles something under the, as he removes the ball. Oh, women kept me locked up here for a couple of days before they strapped me to that altar. It leads to the bathhouse, I'm sure. Just take the bar off the door. That should lead to the passage there. Oh.
I'm going to get to the door and I'm going to put my hand on the bar and then I'm going to turn to Mr. Millwood. And before I take the bar off the door and allow you back out, what are we never going to do again?
I will never play cards. I will never stray. I will gambling and no more gambling, no more drinking, no more anything. I will be devoted brother to my sister. Yes, I will.
And you will let her make her own choices in life. And you will support them with vigor.
Yes, anything. Can we please get out of here now? Please?
All right. And I'll lift the bar off the door and then continue on through.
You're pretty sure he's been kind of scared straight by this. So, but yes, You are able to lift the bar off the door fairly without too much of a problem, and able to open the door and leads to a passage. You feel the dampness, the heavy dampness, and the smells that definitely indicate that you come through a back, what was very much a hidden door in the bathhouse, and are able to make your way through the bath. It is currently empty. There's no one here, which is not entirely surprising considering the way the area was when you descended just a few short hours ago. And as you come out of the bathhouse and heading into the hotel, the heaviness that was in the air is been replaced by light, sweet scent of flowers and fresh grass. The overcast sky has been replaced with beautiful sunny blue. The smell of rotting fish, all of the leaden stench, the metallic-y stench that people had talked about that was in the air has definitely been completely cleared out, as you can almost see and definitely feel the world coming back to life. The green is returning. You hear kind of the crackle of plants growing as if spring had accelerated 100-fold. And with the color returning and the first buds of spring emerging as you enter the hotel. Most people they're nowhere to be found. It's actually quite, the people are probably getting ready for the ball or hiding out away from everything. Though the concierge does see you come in and, "Oh, may I be of any help?" Goodness, as he sees all of you bring Mr. Millwood in, and in his form, as Mr. Millwood's trying to get his feet underneath him. The hotel concierge comes over looking concerned. May I be of any assistance?
I think a pot of tea would be in order.
Tea. Yes. Oh my goodness. Will you be bringing? Is he in need of a doctor?
Does he appear visibly wounded?
He does have some bruises and a few small cuts. He looks like he's been beaten up, but nothing more than maybe a night, a bad night out.
He's fine.
It will be a lesson for him.
A rough night, but
I'm sure he'll be a night's rest. I'm sure will do wonders for him.
A night's rest and a spot of tea, and he'll be back to normal in no time.
And perhaps a pair of breeches, if you happen to have a pair anywhere.
Yes.
And a shirt.
I shall send everything up. I shall send the maid and, yes, I shall send the staff up with everything needed as quickly as possible. And he runs off to take care of that. You get Mr. Millwood upstairs to the room and allow him to lie down, and he begins to just get cleaned up.
While he does that,
yeah, go ahead.
I want to pull Penelope aside. Theodosia.
Absolute pleasure to meet you, Captain. Still a captain. I must say I have 1,000 questions on how you did it and how one goes about it and of everything.
Perhaps I could answer those questions maybe over dinner some night.
That would be wonderful. Although perhaps a more private dinner where onlookers might not overhear.
Yes.
All of your grand tales.
Perhaps on my ship.
Well, that sounds rather exciting. Wonderful.
All right.
Reverend Fergusson, and Miss Chesterton. What is everyone doing for the rest of the night? At this point, we'll assume that tea is brought up and the clothing is provided for the Mr. Millwood, who, as soon as he is able to get dressed and kind of put himself to rights, thanks all of you very much, and excuses himself as he has to go home as quickly as possible to speak with his sister and begin the process of cleaning up his messes, as he puts it, and exits the hotel.
Mr. Fergusson, after spending most of his life telling people stories from a book that's thousands of years old, has decided that there are more stories than just those in the Bible. And I think would enjoy rather a nice, quiet evening, sitting around the fire with his new friends, hearing of Captain Trumpeter's and Mrs. Aid's travels around the world from a travel writer and a naval officer, and hearing of Miss Chesterton's life in the Caribbean and her journeys over here. He just wants to hear the stories, because there's something about the stories that we tell and how they can be twisted with time, how one man's head is another man's coin. And he sits there quietly, sipping his tea around friends.
And Miss Chesterton, how would you like to end the evening?
Miss Chesterton is struggling a little bit. She's struggling with the idea of justice and judgment. Her very, very strong evangelical faith says that it is not for us to judge and it is not for us to take vengeance. But surely there has to be some kind of justice happening here. There are these hundreds of years of murders. Can they really be covered up? What can they do? Should they speak to the constable who had suspicions and thought that there was something happening, and he was so close to understanding what was going on? Or would it be worse for the town? Does the town have the opportunity now that they've seen their great history of murder and exploitation? Do they have a chance now to rebuild and to build something better and build something new? And she's still struggling with that idea. And even by the time she goes to bed, I don't think she has an answer.
Well, the day's events come to an end, and all of you find yourself just weary to the bone. It has been a long few days, and from what you have seen, you do not believe you will forget it any time soon. In fact, probably never. So you all fall into the deepest of sleeps. But this time, your dreams are gentle and quiet and filled with the beginnings of spring and the promises that it holds. As you awaken the next day and you look out your windows, you see the area in full bloom. Spring has returned to Buxton, and there's not a hint of what had previously been there. As you go about your morning routines and taking in some breakfast and trying to make sense of what you have been through, you overhear several people walking around in their beautiful best as if nothing had happened. You overhear a few people talking about how they seem to be caught by a terrible fever, and felt did not feel well and therefore stayed home. They have no idea about any kind of spring ball or what may have occurred there because they were not in attendance. The sun shines brightly over the greenery, and the Ton moves about as if nothing had happened. They stroll along the now green terraces, and all seems right with the world again. And the only hint that anything was amiss is the simple fact that now Mrs. Huntley and her daughter word has come filtered through that they have left for a voyage for their health purposes, potentially going to a local retreat for wellness, which seems a bit odd considering that Buxton is considered the place to come for that sort of thing. But they've decided to take a very long voyage. And Mr. Huntley, the son, is now happily in the estate on his own, which he seems to be more than content with him and the now beautifully flowering plants. All is right back in Buxton, yet all of you know for the rest of your days, nothing. You'll never be able to look at another tree or historical monument the same way again. And with that, we close for the final time the curtains on this scenario, The Well of All Fear by Cat Clay. Please, viewers, please look for this. It's up on the Miskatonic repository. I do believe it is. It's also an ENNIE winner. It's gotten a lot of awards. Please support all the creator and all of the content within. And before we say goodbye to this incredible cast, I want to know from everybody, just maybe a point, something that sticks out in your mind about this scenario, something of the play. Just give us a little something, a favorite moment, something about it. Who would like to start? I would like to start with our dynamic duo, please. Maijai and Taya, please.
Well, off the bat, I think Mr. Fergusson's way around the sacrifice was like the perfect way to wrap it up. And it was so beautiful. And I love that you left it completely up to chance. That was so much fun. But I also really like that it feels like within the scenario, there were so many ways we could have attempted to resolve that. And I like it was such a detailed, amazing scenario. But I thought, that your way around the climax of that was really creative and really clever. And I like that there was space for that within the scenario.
I enjoyed so much. I liked the story and the setting so much. Like the fact that you have to actually like use your brain to work stuff out, and it's not all just like depending on your roles, was pretty cool. That was very good. I think I won the game by making Mr. Fergusson speechless.
Yes.
The seeing all of your faces drop, the moment of realization was chef's kiss. That whole ending and like the description of the cavern and the tree and all of it I loved it. It was so good. If that is one point, that's kind of a couple of points.
Lydia, how about you?
It is almost impossible to pick, isn't it? There is just so much to say about this scenario, and I could probably just sit here and talk at you for the rest of the night, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not Mr. Fergusson. So I'm just going to pick the one thing that really stood out to me is every scenario needs a really good antagonist, don't they? And the Huntley family, yes, they were so misguided and so thinking that they were doing the right thing. And so there was that kind of moral ambiguity to them. But then to contrast that, the moment that I really loved the most was the introduction of Sir Devlin. He is vile, isn't he? But just how vivid, that kind of moving from the Regency into the Gothic, the big Blake picture and that big throne-like chair. It's like we've moved from Jane Austen and now we're in Lord Byron, essentially. And then we're going to come right back out of the Satanic School of Poetry, and then we're going to be back into this wonderful Regency above world. So yes, so vivid, so dark, and he's the nastiest character I think I've met for quite some time in my journeys with the Playhouse.
Yes, and they're admittedly there was even more dastardly things. I will admit, having to cut the scenario down, it was bittersweet. It's great to be able to get to those moments, but there are so many more moments in the scenario. And there was one with Sir Devlin that had things taken a different turn, other choices had been made that would have come across, and you would see truly how devilish he could be. So
can you tell us that? Can you give us a few little outlines of that?
Yeah. So if anyone on listening doesn't want to know, 3,
Spoiler
2,
alert.
1. All right. Spoiler alert. There is a point, if you do actually go to the spring ball, that it turns out Sir Devlin was the one who actually drugged Mr. Millwood so he could be captured and brought down. He was a part of the conspiracy. And worse than that, he would have asked to speak with you, all of you, at the spring ball. And had you done that, he would have slipped laurel water into your beverages. Now, laurel water, for those, laurel water has, you take laurel leaves and you soak them. And what happens, it becomes a bit of a tincture, and that tincture, it works very much like arsenic. So it would have basically knocked you out and made you a bit sick, and then you would have been captured and then brought down into what they call the frigidarium, which is that cold room off of the bathhouse, and put into chains. So he would have done that, and he was, because Mrs. Huntley is actually blackmailing him because he had a love child with a woman of ill repute in France, and you would have found that letter on his person. He would have revealed that, like any good villain reveals his plans and then basically takes you out. That would have happened. So yes, he is even more dastardly than
Wow.
I hate him.
10 out of 10.
Cat, you're a genius. I hate him.
Stu, please, a moment.
I'm going to give you 2 moments.
Okay.
The way that the clues in this scenario really lend themselves to a true investigation. You find the clues, but you don't know what exactly they mean. We go and we find the Roman artifacts, but we don't know why they're there. We get the visions, and it starts to piece it together, and it's very cleverly put together in that regard. And from a more personal note, I know Buxton quite well, and it's absolutely fantastic just being in Buxton, in Regency Buxton, and the way that the scenario takes you round and shows you all of the key sites. And it's so well researched. Obviously, Heather, you've put your twist on, you've put your spin on it, you've put your descriptions there, which is fantastic. But you can tell that this is a very well researched scenario from somebody who knows the Regency so well as well.
Yeah, if anyone who dives into this scenario, I'm a bit of a history buff. I'm no expert by any means, but I love reading about it. And I fell in love with this scenario so quickly because there is so much history, and the descriptions and everything is like you said, very well researched. from the images, the descriptions, the placement of everything. I had to do some of my own research to make sure I had it properly in my head. Yes, there had to be some artistic license taken based on choices and the flow of the scenario. But and then all of us, the viewers may don't know this, but Stu actually went to Buxton in between some of the recordings of this, and then posted the pictures for us with him in front of these actual places. They are there. I mean, it brought us like right there in this. Like, these exist. They exist exactly how they're described. It's beautiful. And if I ever get a chance to finally get to the UK, which I am desperate to do because to meet so many people, I want to go to all these places because it's just to bring it to life. Cat, you did an incredible job. If you ever see this, absolutely incredible. The history of this is just divine.
Actually, there was one bit that was actually historically inaccurate. I did drink the waters when I was in Buxton, and I didn't have a vision. So I think some artistic license has been taken there.
You also still appear to have your head.
Well, you just got dud water.
I think I've got dud water, yeah. I'm going to write to Buxton and say, yeah.
It's probably a good thing, though. I mean, that vision was a little jarring, and look what it led to. So it was probably a good thing. You weren't dragged off into some underground temple.
Did not get beheaded. 1 star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need that on a
Would
t-shirt.
not visit again. I went to Buxton and all I got was this lousy pagan cult.
I think we have our shirt. And with that, I'm going to turn back to the rest of our incredibly wonderful, talented, brilliant cast. For each of you to please let everybody know who you are, where they can find you, what projects you're working on. Please spill all the details before we close this out completely. And I am going to start. Let's start with you, Stu. So, our Reverend Fergusson. Let's start with Stu.
So I'm Stu. I'm the producer of the Miskatonic Playhouse and big fan of the Regency. I also published a Regency book, Post and Hostility, and Drop of Nelson's Blood. You can also get them on Drive Through RPG. And one of them also won an ENNIE, just like Cat's scenario did as well. But you can find me on the Playhouse because I am the Playhouse. No, Newman's the Playhouse. I'm the other half.
There are a lot of moving cogs,
lot of pieces
within the Playhouse. Yes, especially the ones in the closet that we don't like to talk about, because when we do, they get riled up. Lydia, let's move on to you.
Hi, everybody. You can also find me at the Playhouse, particularly like Stu, doing Regency things, and also Gaslight. That's my other big project that I've been recording recently. And when I'm not recording with the Miskatonic Playhouse, you can mainly find me at the podcast Lightless Beacons. We launched last Halloween. I'm not quite certain when this campaign is going out, but we may be in the middle of season 2. We may be a little bit later. I'm not certain. But come and join us at Lightless Beacons. We're an actual play podcast, and we also feature panel discussions with deep dives on classic scenarios such as The Haunting, which you can also find Stu came as a special guest with our autopsy of a scenario, wielding the bone saws as we pulled apart The Haunting to really find out what was under the skin of that very special and beloved scenario.
Yes, as part of Lightless Beacons myself, I'm going to double down on that because
of course.
We have our season 2 is ramping up, and I'm sure at some point when this comes out, season 2 will be in full swing at somewhere.
Yep.
So please join us there. And for our incredibly special guests, which I am still over the moon that you both joined us, please, 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 all the things.
Well, I am Maijai Hibberd. I won't give you any information because social media and knowledge is over there, who will give everything that I don't know.
I will. My name is Taya, and we are both best known in the TTRPG space for being 2 quarters of Damsels in Distress. We are
Which is very gay and very Regency.
Yeah, we are an actual play group. Our biggest project that I think most people know about is Demons and Daughters, which is an multi-award winning long form D&D campaign set in a very homebrewed Regency England. It is incredibly gay. It's incredibly beautiful. And I think if you like watching Regency TTRPG scenarios, you should absolutely check it out. You can catch up on YouTube and Spotify, and we stream Twitch Wednesdays. And we've done, various other campaigns in various other systems. I don't know when this is going out, but we will have recently or be in the midst of a Fey Earth campaign and a Tales from the Spectral Sea campaign. We do lots of things. But the main thing is Regency D&D, and that is at DamselsInDicestress on most platforms. And in our spare time, the two of us also coincidentally run a theatre company called Wasn't There a Man, which you can find under that handle on various socials. We do a lot of period pieces and we do a lot of classical literature adaptions.
That's some other weird stuff.
So if you're UK based and you want some theatre randomly, we're sort of all over the place at various festivals as well. But lots of Regency stuff.
Like I said, I was incredibly blessed to have all of you in this incredible all-star cast, and I thank each and every one of you for being part of this and putting up with my bumbling through it. But I guess I have to do a little bit of promo for myself. Again, I go by ValyGirl Heather. I'm known as Heather Ashcraft. Generally, you're going to find me on the socials at either ValyGirl Heather or at ValyGirl Designs. I do a little of everything. I am a small indie RPG co-owner. I work social media for an indie company called Skydawn Game Studios, which we're putting out. We put out Esper Genesis, and we'll be putting out the Phantasy Star TTRPG. I'm sure if you look up that, you'll see where that is whenever this comes out. Beyond that, I'm an actual play actor and keeper. I wear tremendous number of hats. I'm also an RPG freelancer. I do write. And by the time this comes out, I'm sure I will have a couple of titles up on the Miskatonic repository. I'm a little behind all of these amazing people, but I'm working on it. I'm also going to be at various conventions throughout, including Chaosium Con. I'm at Origins, generally at Gen Con, Gamehole Con, Gary Con, several like that. So if you find me in person, I'm generally running games, or I'm running games here, either on the Playhouse, Lightless Beacons, Symphony Entertainment. I'm also part of RuneQuest, the RuneQuest Glorantha campaign over on Old Ways podcast. So if you really want to hunt me down, you can find me somewhere. But beyond that, I want to also thank our Cosmic Outpost for being our production on this. Thank you again, Cosmic, for doing everything that you do on this. Thank you to everyone on the Playhouse for allowing us to do this. Thank you, Cat Clay, for writing this incredible scenario. And thank you to all of you for joining us throughout the 6 episodes. We hope you will come back to the Playhouse for yet another one-shot or campaign or matinees in our various campaigns that go on. You can check our schedules. You can go onto our Discord. If you want to support us, please buy us some coffee or check out our other Patreons and everything else that there's there. Please support independent podcasters like DamselsInDicestress, as in the Playhouse, Lightless Beacons, all of them. We can always use support. But that's enough from us. Thank you again, and good night.